Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the GE refrigerator dispenser housing shield kit. It's going to be a very easy repair and should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the instructions, the new funnel, the new paddle, the screws and the torsion spring, and the new housing. The dispenser housing shield kit is located on the freezer door. The main reason to be changing it out is if the housing or the paddle is damaged and you have to change out the whole kit. In order to get to the part, we have to take the dispenser apart. So we're going to first take out the drip tray. All you have to do is lift up on the back and then pull it out from underneath the front lip. Once you have it out, you can pull it out of the dispenser and set it aside. Then we have to take the frame off. It goes all the way around the dispenser. It's locked in by some locking tabs all the way around. So we're going to carefully get behind it with a putty knife and just release them. You want to very carefully so you don't scratch the paint. Get behind it and then you can flex it so the tabs release. And there's a bunch of them that go all the way around. So we're just going to go around and release them. Once you have the frame off, you can set it aside. Now that we have the frame off, we can take the control board off. It's just hooked underneath the lip right here. So we're just going to press down on it a little bit and then pull out on the top and just lower it down. We're going to use a small flathead screwdriver to take the wire harnesses off. There's no locking tabs or anything. You just have to carefully slide them off. Once you have all three of them off, you can pull the dispenser control board off the refrigerator. Now that we have the board out of the way, we can take out the housing. We're going to use our Phillips screwdriver to remove the 4 screws. Now that we have the screws out, we can carefully pull the housing forward. As you pull it out, you want to make sure that any of the wires don't catch. Once you have it free, you can pull it out of the door. Now that we have the assembly out, we have to take everything off so we can swap it over to the new one. First thing we're going to do is take out the light bulb socket. We're going to use a small flathead screwdriver to help pop off the wire terminals. Remember, the red, as you're looking down at it, is on the left and the yellow is on the right. Once you have the wires off, we can remove the light socket. We're going to use the same screwdriver and just press in on these locking tabs while we press down on the socket. Once you have it released, you can pull it out and set it aside. Then we have to remove the wiring harness over to the switch. We're just going to take the tape off and get the wire harness out on this side. And then we're going to take the switch out. We're not going to disconnect the wires. We can take the whole switch assembly out and just swap it over into the new one. So we're just going to press these tabs apart and pull the switch out. Once you have the switch out, you can take the wiring harness out from between the pivot point here and set the wire harness aside. Last thing we have to take off to swap over to the new assembly is the light bulb warning sticker. We're just going to take a razor blade and carefully get underneath it and take it off. If it doesn't have any glue left, you may have to put some rubber adhesive or something on it for when we swap it over to the new one. Once you have it off, you can set it aside, and then we can put the new assembly together. Here's the old dispenser housing shield next to the new dispenser housing shield kit. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. As you can see, they've redesigned this and you have to change out everything together. So you can just follow along with the instructions and make sure you change out all the parts at once. Now we can put the kit together. First thing we're going to do is put the funnel and the new actuator arm onto the housing. All you have to do is line this up with the slots right here on each side and push this all the way in. Once you have it lined up, you just have to push it in until these two locking tabs right here lock it into place. Now we can put the arm on. Before we put the arm on, we have to put the spring on. It goes onto this pin right here. So you want to make sure that you put the long side down. There's a long side and a short side. So you want to put the long side down through this opening right here after you have it on the pin. Then you can rotate it around, and we have to put this pin right here in the hole. And making sure that the short end of the spring goes up here. Then we have to snap in the other side. Once you have it in place, it should have a little bit of tension on it. And then we can put in the light socket assembly. To put the light socket assembly in, it can only go in one way. So you want to line it up and push it through so the locking tabs lock it in place. Once you have that in, then we can reconnect the wire harness. Remember, as we were looking at it, the red was on this side and the yellow was on the other side. Once you have it in place, we're going to lift the assembly up and mount the switch. To mount the switch, we're going to mount it on this peg right here and use one of the screws to hold it down. There's two holes in the switch already made, so we're just going to set that down. And you want to make sure that this arm right here is against this lever so that when you press on it, this is what turns on the dispenser. Once you have it in place, we're going to use our Phillips screwdriver to put in one of the screws. Once you have it tightened down, you want to make sure that the switch is mounted tight and that the lever hits it and activates it. And then we're going to set the kit down and we cut some tape. We're just going to tape up this wire harness so it's more centered and in control. You can use masking tape or electrical tape, whatever you have. Once you have the wire secure, we're going to turn it over so we can put the light bulb warning sticker on. Remember, if yours doesn't have enough glue or if it's not sticky, you can put some rubber cement on it so you don't lose it. Once you have that in place, we have the assembly put back together so we can put it in the dispenser. To put the new dispenser housing shield kit in, we're going to make sure that the wires come out underneath through this little opening. Once you have them through, we can carefully lift it up into place. As you're lifting the assembly up, you want to make sure that the water fill line comes into this cutout right here so it dispenses properly. Once you have it in place, we can use the Phillips screwdriver to put the screws back in. Now that we have the screws in, you want to make sure that the actuator arm moves freely and you hear the switch engage. Once you're sure it's working properly, we can put the control board back in. To put the control board on, all we have to do is line it up and reconnect the wiring harnesses. They only go in one spot, so you can't mix them up. Just make sure you push them on all the way so you get a good connection. Once you have the wires reconnected, we can carefully tilt up the control board. And you may have to push these wires back in a little bit. Once you have the wires out of the way, we can lift it up the rest of the way and snap it in. Now that we have the control board back in, we can put the frame on. To put the frame back on, we have to line up all these tabs with the openings and snap them into place. We're just gonna carefully get it started and then go around and push them in so the frame sits against the door. Once you have the frame on all the way around the door, we can put the drip tray back in. To put the drip tray in, we're just going to line up the front and set the back down. Once you have it in place, we can plug the refrigerator back in and make sure it starts to cool. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.